Perched on the east coast in the English county of Suffolk is the suburb of Pakefield. Living in a cosy 2 up, 2 down by the sea are Simon Whitehead of Pakefield Ferrets, Jules and their daughter Grace. Simon's life revolves around ferrets and rabbits. He is a traditional rabbit catcher. Others might call him a warrener. But to those that know him, Simon, well, Simon is just Simon. He is unique in many ways, as he was raised in a city, yet works in the countryside. He makes his living from rabbits, yet none of his family have hunted, shot, fished or ferreted themselves. He educates the world about his passion, yet rarely went to school himself.
I have spent years looking for good working ferrets, and this is getting harder. The older generations that kept good ferrets are either dying out or just giving up. You see, I am obsessed by trying to breed the perfect ferret. To others, they may only be worth a few pounds, but to me, my ferrets are absolutely priceless. Why? I'm a ferreter, and my modus operandi is the timeless art of ferreting, and this marries in with my moral compass perfectly. With fieldcraft, good working animals and a few nets, wherever I am, I have the ability and confidence to harvest rabbits for the table, provide a valuable service to those that seek out my expertise, and it's all carried out in an organic and environmentally friendly manner. Some may see this style as primitive, but if you cannot better something, then it will age. I remember all those years ago when ferreting was unadulterated fun, a sport and jolly. Nowadays, there's a little bit more pressure and tension involved, and some days it's not much fun. Not much fun at all. In fact, it can hammer your mentality, make you question your sanity, and if you're not careful, the black dog will walk at heel beside you. Doing this for a job can be a hard life. I'm doing this to pay the mortgage, pay for my food, the clothes and the bills, in a world where plenty will do it for free. A world where if you're no good, you get your P45. But if you are good, then after a few years, you see you get your P45 anyway, because the rabbits are under control and your services are no longer required. But to catch rabbits on a commercial scale, you need rabbits. Rabbits that are causing economic loss or emotional distress. Rabbits that the customers just want gone.
The cornerstone of his life, his profession, existence, is all centred around his ancestral urge to hunt. It doesn't matter that we hunt a different quarry. We all hold it within our DNA. It could be in a field, up a mountain, by a river, or on a supermarket shelf. But at the end of the day, we're all hunting for food, but which is healthier and which has lived a better life. If anything was to happen to the food supply in the shops, Simon can go out and harvest his own food. This is not just a great skill, but I would imagine an even greater feeling. Although he has lived in Pakefield for over a quarter of a century, the majority of the people that live around him have little or no idea of whom Simon is, nor what he does, and this is how he likes it. For despite his work within the media, Simon is a very private person, almost bordering on shy to those that don't know him or his idiosyncrasies.
I have to keep a certain mindset, and that is why I have no patience for negativity. It's a waste of my energy. That is why I surround myself with the right people and great friends. These people push me, challenge me, inspire me, make me laugh, make me better. But most of all, they make me happy, and I am happiest when I'm out with my dogs and ferrets. That is why my brain never stops whirring about. I'm always thinking about writing, filming, talking, harvesting, or even eating rabbits. and for this some say I'm just simply obsessed. When the rabbits arrived, at first they were kept in enclosures, nurtured by the Warreners, protected from the outside world, but soon they escaped, and the world changed, giving them the opportunity to inhabit the four corners of our island. Ferreton hasn't changed much, bar technology and opinions, in hundreds of years. This could be a scene from today or 100 years ago, as our art, our craft is timeless, but one thing that never changes, the rabbits still go for food and nothing is wasted.
There you go, Scotty boy. Still ahead of the game.
The land is our larder. Unfortunately, although not for the rabbits, the byproduct of my passion is the abundance of nutritious meat, the provenance of which is unquestionable, and the game dealers, chefs and customers love it.
Hey, how are you, man?
All right, bro, you?
Yeah, good, really good.
Little present.
Oh, fantastic. They're going to go down a tree.
Enjoy,
I'll call you.
Cool, mate.
All right, take care, buddy.
See you, mate.
They do so because the rabbit has lived a life in a complete free-range environment. Goes where the mood takes it, does what it wants to do and eats exactly what it feels like eating. A lifestyle that is then transferred through to its meat. A rabbit then transforms itself from a threat to our food source to a food source itself. One that it has invested its whole life in producing, and we must never lose sight of this fact nor the history behind such a feat. When I visit the old Warreners' Lodge in Thetford, I often wonder, what would those Warreners make of me now? How would or could they comprehend how our world has changed so quickly in such a relatively short space of time? How technology now gives me the ability of almost second sight to find my ferret. At night I can see in the dark with my night vision. I can see heat sources through thermal imagery. There is now no place to hide anymore. Through phone apps, I know what the weather's going to be doing at any given time in any given location. And this in itself gives me the foresight to dress appropriately. But are we losing something as well? Is fieldcraft being discounted due to the amount of technology on offer? What hasn't changed is the ferret's desire to work. The style in which I ferret with my nets on lurchers and the ability to harvest food with my very own hands. Fieldcraft to me is as important now as it was back then, even more so with so much ambient disturbance to our land. The rabbits are survivors. They instinctively know when danger is afoot. More people, I think, should practice ferreting. It's addictive. But then again, it can also be hard work, and you're going to have to get wet and dirty. And it's not as seductive as other sports. To me, that isn't a bad thing. Ferreting, I think, is a whole new state of mind in itself, something that many find intimidating. We are confident. We're confident in our skills, and if it goes wrong, we have no one else to blame but ourselves. And this is a quality fast diminishing from modern society. Because like our ferrets and dogs, we are not robots or mechanical devices. But isn't that what makes us so fantastic? The unpredictability, the isotopes of excitement as a ferret works its magic, the thumping of the rabbit's jet-propelled legs gets the blood pumping, a fusion of adrenaline and excitement in the same breath as nervousness and anticipation. How could you not want to join me and go ferreting? It's not until you go ferreting that you quickly realise a good working ferret is much more than just a ferret. My philosophy is hard to disregard, and even the staunchest of opponents cannot place a credible argument against the ethos of me as a ferreter and the job I do. Why? Because every step is accountable. I use no poisons, nor target any other species other than the rabbit. We leave the land as we found it, are quiet, and unobtrusive, and answered the moral dilemma of taking an animal's life by honouring the rabbit's life by providing it for food. The provenance of my ferreted rabbit is unquestionable, and no animal's life should ever be taken in vain and then wasted, especially after it has spent its entire life producing meat for us to enjoy. Because I am a student of the rabbiting game, I have always looked upon ferreting as my hobby, but in reality it isn't. It's my profession. But thankfully, it is still my childhood passion. I have had to evolve myself. Nowadays I'm not just a ferreter, but a person with whom wears many caps. I'm a harvester, a diplomat, politician, philosopher, environmentalist, naturalist, as well as a father, partner, and a provider for my family.
Simon continues to sculpt his philosophy of ferreting. He holds the old-fashioned values of an old-school rabbit catcher, but with a modern twist. To do his job well, all Simon requires are his team of ferrets, good lurchers, his rabbiting mentality, and of course, a few nets and a spade. If we lose characters like Simon, lose the interaction with the land, if we lose our rabbits, what a sad life it would become. This sobering thought is exactly why we should all believe in environmental responsibility and think very carefully about the origins of our food and the traditional skills required to harvest it. As you never know when you may need to call upon these skills and characters like Simon once again. Stay safe, stay fed, and stay ahead of the game.
Won't become like a... Huh?
Any way you like.
Stay ahead of the game. What's your story?